Satsuki began suggesting they celebrate their entry into high school. Magic circles had surrounded them, so as Takahisa and Satsuki were teleported away, Haki, Masato and me were teleported together. It was at the same time that magical beams were gushing towards heaven from every part of the world, and when Aishia sensed Mi's presence, she had immediately asked Ryo to save them. At the same time, Masato and the girls were wondering where they were, but when Mi tried using her Google Maps, she realized that her phone had no cell reception. It was at that moment the ugly giant appeared behind them, but Haruto had followed Aishia's directions to find them. When he first arrived at an area of spatial magic and had spotted a cell phone, he wondered what was happening. However, Haki and Masato were being dumped inside a cage with other slaves, but when Mi tried asking the leader to release them, she realized the ugly wrong combo-eyed freak didn't understand her words, and dragged her off to be his new wife. Luckily, Ryo had noticed the smoke from their camp and decided to check it, but when they pulled mats over the cage, Ryo asked to know if they saw anyone who dropped the phone. The ugly leader told him that they saw no one, but even though Ryo knew he was a lying ugly piece of shit, he thought it wasn't smart to randomly start a fight. However, when he began hearing a screaming voice and one bandit tried shutting her up, Ryo realized it was Japanese, and revealed that they were the ones he was looking for. Wondering how he understood their words, the leader commanded his men to kill him, but as they surrounded Ryo, he activated his magic and blasted the ground. As the commander released photon bullets, Ryo dodged the attacks, and as he dodged another's strike, kicking him away, he knocked off another. He originally intended to take the leader hostage and conduct negotiations, but with the weird-eyed loser already surrounded, Ryo decided to draw his blades. Immediately, he parried an enemy's attack, slicing across his shoulder, and as he knocked another to the ground, the commander released a bunch of fireballs on him. Just then, he parried off Ryo's blades, but as Ryo leveraged his distraction to punch him in the gut, he kneed him in the face and stabbed his shoulder. At that moment, the weird-eyed stain wet his pants, but as Ryo activated a fire magic that burned off his glove, he commanded him to release the abducted children. After Haki and Masato were freed, they discovered that Ryo understood Japanese, but Masato told him that the last one of them was inside a wagon. Using magical waves, Ryo easily dismantled the lock, but when he saw Mi for the first time, the sight of her face left him in shock, and he wondered how she got here. A few minutes later, while they were heading away, Ryo told Aishia to meet up with them before sunset, but Haki, Mi and Masato were enchanted at the sight of the setting sun. As Mi decided to thank Ryo for saving them, Ryo revealed that he actually intended to ask them a question. So as Mi introduced herself and wondered what his name was, Ryo told them that he was currently going by the name Haruto. Mi recognized the name, but when Haki nearly got angry, Mi decided to calm her down, but Ryo remembered her as Haruto's sister. He thought they had a lot of resemblance, but when he wondered if his name was weird, Masato asked why he didn't have a family name. At the same time, he revealed that he was Haki's younger brother, but with Haruto having had only one sibling, Ryo wondered if Haruto's mother eventually remarried. However, he decided to remind them that the sun was setting, so as he suggested they find somewhere else to go, he offered to create a comfortable spot for them. After arriving at the plains, Ryo released a discharge magic that summoned a stone house from the ground. As he told them that there was living space inside, Aishia descended before them, so when Celia rushed to Ryo and began asking if he was hurt, Ryo decided to introduce them to each other. However, the girls soon realized that they couldn't understand one another's language, so with Aishia wanting to breach the gap, she decided to form a temporary path between Celia and Mi, revealing that she would be their interpreter in the meantime. She explained that she could only do so because Ryo understood both languages, so when she told him she was hungry, Ryo invited them all inside. A few minutes later, while Ryo and Masato were setting up